let's get started with this tier list, man. Like I said, I'm gonna be putting a poll up in the chat so y'all can vote whichever tier y'all want it, the ghost to be that we talk about. The first ghost is a yokai. So a yokai, I'm just gonna say right now, bro, I'm gonna put a yokai in basic bitch. That's where I'm gonna put him, because like he don't really do, a yokai don't really do anything. What a yokai does, right? And what a yokai is special at is being dumb as fuck. That's what he's really special at. So what a yokai do is, the way you figure out if it's a yokai or not is he doesn't have any, they don't have any speed abilities, or they don't have any, you know, ways of easily telling that it's a yokai until they hunt, right? So like say you're playing Willow Street House, and you're behind that glass door when you enter the living room, and the ghost is in the kitchen. If you scream, because you know the ghost is supposed to come at you whenever you use your voice and stuff like that, your flashlight, stuff like that. If you're screaming your lungs out and you see the ghost walking around while it's hunting and not coming towards you, it is most likely a yokai, and is known in like the Phasmo community for being like the dumb, stupid ghost because of that reason, because you're yelling and screaming at it and it's not coming toward you because it can't hear you until it reaches a certain range because it's deaf. It's just deaf. And so, but the ability of a yokai is, if you are talking within a certain range of a yokai, it can initiate a hunt. It can initiate a hunt that way. And but I think your sanity has to be 50% still. And I think your sanity still has to be like normal, if I'm not mistaken, to do that. But it'll initiate a hunt more often if you talk in the ghost room. Say so. So like I said, bro, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put this ghost in basic bitch, because there's like really, or maybe I'm gonna put it on come on, bro. I'm gonna put it on come on, bro, because I'd rather face a base, like I'd rather face, because we're gonna do spirit next. Spirit is the perfect example. This is the basic ghost. Like this is just the default ghost, like the basic ghost. There's nothing special about a spirit. And so that's obviously gonna go in the average category, you know. And so yeah, I'm gonna put it, I'd rather face a spirit over a yokai, just because like yokais, they're, of course, it's just like, I don't know, like I don't want to be scream, and it's just easy to figure out, and it's not like really that fun, because you can just scream at it and then you're like, oh, it's a yokai. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's like nothing really super special about it. But yeah, put it in D. Interesting. Y'all put it in D. That's exactly what I did. CD. Yes sir. Yes sir. Oh wait, no. Wait, why I said A B C D? No, I put that shit in C. Y'all put it in Dookie. Okay, so y'all think it's Dookie. I agree. I got some spots saved for, I got some ghosts in mind that I'm gonna put in Dookie. So I ain't want to put this ghost in Dookie, because I'd rather, there are some ghosts, yokai I'd rather face against than some other ghosts that we're gonna get through later. But moving on to the spirit, I put spirit in basic bitch because it's just an average ghost. It don't do anything special besides when you okay, so when you smudge a ghost, the default time, well, like say you're in the ghost room and you smudge it, and it won't hunt for 90 seconds. Like any other ghost won't hunt for 90 seconds. The spirit ability is it won't hunt for double that time. So 180 seconds if you smudge it. And that's the only thing about a spirit. That's it. So like, and it's just a regular ghost. It don't really do anything special. So yeah, that's literally it with a spirit. It's easy to find if you set a timer, or if you know, smudge it and you're sitting there for 3 minutes, because 180 seconds is 3 minutes, right? And if you're sitting there for 3 minutes and it don't hunt, is a spirit. It's automatically a spirit. We've done it on stream before. That's how we figure out a spirit. Yeah, let me do spirit. That's where I rate spirit. That was, there's not really much to talk about with the spirit, because that's literally all they do. It just doubles the, like, from, it prevents the spirit from hunting for double the time as any other ghost. That's literally all a spirit do. But let's see whatever y'all think it is. S A B C D. We'll do that. I should have did that as a shorter duration. But anyways, we'll move on. While that's gone, we'll move on and talk about the other ghosts so y'all can have an idea. So when we do that one. Now a wraith. A wraith is the classic boy. The one everybody knows that if it sticks, you know, you don't see its feet whenever it steps in salt. So it's an easy one to figure out that way, because all you do now, you used to be able to, so it used to be like the wraith used to be able to step in the salt still, which didn't make any sense, because even though the journal was like flavor text, it said in the journal that a wraith like won't be able to step in salt or something, or has like a toxic reaction to salt. I still don't know what that's supposed to mean exactly, but it used to be able to step in the salt and it wouldn't show footprints on the UV or glow stick or whatever you had after the fact. That's how you would figure out a wraith. But now they just don't step in the salt at all, which is how it should have been in the first place. So I'm glad they made that change. Oh yeah, okay, so a wraith also has an ability where it can teleport to you. If you have your, okay, so say you walk in the house and you have your EMF out and you get just a random EMF 2 out of nowhere, and there's nothing thrown around you, no doors touched, nothing going on, it was most likely a wraith doing its ability. That's what its ability is. It teleports to you for a few seconds, and sometimes it'll interact with stuff, throw stuff around. We actually have that clipped on way back in the day when Asylum was in the game, where the ghost was in the bathroom all the way across the map, and then all of a sudden it started throwing shit in the lobby where the truck and stuff is. I don't know if y'all remember original Asylum, but it started throwing stuff around in that lobby area, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I was like, was that a wraith ability? Because it was like super rare back then, and turns out it was a fucking wraith. So I think that's really cool. Wraith is one of my favorite ghosts for that reason specifically. For that reason specifically, man, I love a wraith. It can also be dangerous because it can teleport to you, initiate a hunt, and then just fucking smack your ass to the ground. Smack your ass to the ground, bro, just instantly. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this other poll ready. So there's you know, the teleport. There's a few other ghosts that can like, they don't really teleport to you. They like kind of walk to you, but they give off their EMF where they started the event. A wraith gives you the EMF wherever it teleports to. Yeah, I like wraith a lot. It's one of my favorite ones, even though it's easy to figure out, but it can still be dangerous if it initiates a hunt, when it does its teleport ability, like right on top of you, and you can just be like, oh, that's just a ghost event, you know, because the fucking ghost room's across the map. You can be like, oh, that's just a ghost event, and you just stand there and look at it, and it just kills you because you think it's a ghost event. They can be a little tricky buggers, bro. They can be little tricky buggers. Wait, what was the one on the on the spirit, bro? I didn't even see it. Wraiths they do be sus. He be in my walls, dude. And that's okay. So that's another thing about the wraith. I forgot to mention that. It says in the journal that it can travel through walls. You right? That's horseshit. Don't listen to that. It does not go through walls. It can interact with stuff through walls, just like every ghost. So like, say it's in the laundry room in Tanglewood. The ghost is in the laundry room in Tanglewood. It can throw something like in the kitchen because it has range, and like it has interaction range like through the kitchen. It can throw stuff in the kitchen, but it can't actually walk through walls. It can't do that. It can't do that. It can't go through walls. I wish it'd be kind of cool if it did, but I get why they can't really do that. Wraiths make me scared, so it's good. Yes, sir. I agree. Wraiths terrify me a little bit too. So yeah, I'm gonna put that bitch in A tier. In A tier. Y'all think it's S tier? Wraith is S tier? Yo, dude. Interesting. That's very interesting. I can see though. They're really cool. Wraiths are a pretty cool ghost. Okay, next ghost. The Ure. The Ure Mobure Cleclere Clefere. I don't know what that means. Well, obviously it's a Pokemon. But anyways, another ghost that doesn't do anything too special and is also kind of tough to figure out if you're playing. Well, obviously, if you like playing professional or something, you'll get all the evidence and stuff, and it's not going to be too difficult to figure out. But say you're playing like nightmare or insane difficulty, and you're trying to figure out as a Yurei, it's going to be a little bit of a difficult time to do that because their like initial ability is about losing sanity, right? So they also have a ability where, a Yurei has this ability where it can completely, like if the door is completely open, it can completely shut a door. But right now it's bugged. I don't know if they fixed it or not. So right now, like what it does is it does like a little double door touch type noise, and that's like the only way you can tell if it's a Yurei or not. Because if you're playing on Nightmare or Insane, right, you can't look at your sanity, and if it does like its ability near you, whenever it does that, you lose a certain amount of sanity, and that's a way to tell if you're playing on professional or whatever. But again, that's kind of hard to tell. And I just think Yureis are just frustrating to go against. Like they're not super fun to go against. They're super frustrating. They don't really do anything special besides fully shut a door, and that's broken right now. They don't have any movement speed buffs or anything. Neither do wraiths or spirits, by the way. They don't have any movement speed buffs or anything like that, so you can't really tell them apart during a hunt. And they're just like aggravating. They're aggravating, and I wish they would do something more to a Yurei to help you figure it out if you're playing Nightmare or something easier, because there's really no easy way to tell unless it does its ability with the door. And yeah, and that's broken right now. And even if it wasn't broken, even when it was, a thing, it rarely did it. It doesn't do it very much. And even regular Ghost can do his ability, but the Yurei just does it more often. I feel like they can get more creative with that. So with that said, I'm gonna put it with the yokai, bro. It's like, come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. You could be better, bro. You know what I'm saying? You could be better. You too could be better. Y'all need to be updated. But anyways, yeah, moving on to the Deogen. I hope you guys are learning something too with the game like this. Spirit was B. Okay, got you, chill. Thank you. C tier. Oh, okay. Y'all on like the same page as me, man. I like that. I like it. Or are y'all just doing that because I'm saying it? Next ghost, the Deogen. I think this ghost is super easy to figure out, right? But I think this ghost is so fucking fun, dude. It's so fun. It's such a fun ghost. And because it's basically the looping ghost, right? You used to be, way back in the day, you used to be able to loop every ghost around a counter or a table because there was no speed up mechanic like there is now. Because now most ghosts speed up as they have line of sight of you and as they see you. So eventually they'll catch up to you, and then you'll have to go hide somewhere. Or smudge it or go hide somewhere. As seeing before, let's go. That's fucking awesome, bro. I'm glad we're on the same page here, dude. This is cool. With a Deogen, what a Deogen do, if y'all forgot, is you can't hide versus a Deogen, which I think is really fucking cool. You can't hide against it. If you go hide, you're gonna get dookied on. You're gonna get cornered, and you can't do anything. Believe me, when this ghost first came out, everybody's like, wow, this ghost is super easy. Like, it's so slow. Because that's another thing. Whenever it finds you, because it's always going to know where you're at. It's super fast. When it doesn't see you, it's super fast. So you'll know it's a Deogen. And then all of a sudden, when it gets close to you, within a certain range, it'll start walking slow. It'll start walking super slow, like the slowest ghost in the game. And then that's how you know it's a Deogen, because it's coming for your ass. If you don't move, you gonna die. So we had an example with a Deogen the other night where the Fallen was hiding. Like, no one else was hiding. Everybody was running around. And we didn't know it was a Deogen at the time. And she hid behind a shelf. And she was the one hiding, and it went straight for her ass. And you could see it just slowly walking up on her ass. And I was like, Fallen, move, you about to get shit on. And then it got her. It got her, unfortunately, because if she ran out, it was going to get her anyway. So Deogens are quite dangerous, but they're super fun to play against because you can loop them around and like you can play with them. You can do dumb stuff with them and stuff like that. But if you ain't careful, you can get dookied on by them. They one of the easiest ghosts to find out what they are, but super fun and just a very good time every time I encounter a Deogen. So I'm gonna make it an A. I notice we haven't done any D's or S's yet, but we gonna get there. I promise. We gonna get there. And speaking of, we have the Oni. The Oni. Probably one of my favorite ghosts in the game. One of my favorite ghosts in the game because of how chaotic it can be with all the ghost events. Because Oni, it's also easy to find out if it's not an Oni, because the airball ghost event that you see with the white cloud moving around and it hits you and it's like, oh my god, scare you out. Like that if it does that, it's not an Oni automatically, so you can cross it out. And but Oni is way more active than any other ghost. It does ghost events constantly. It's always trying to scare the fuck out of you. It does the red light ghost events. It does everything. And it just like it always keeps you on your toes, like all the time. D for Deogen. D for Deogen. Interesting. Y'all don't like Deogen? Yo, that's kind of ASMR. ASMR time. Tier list. I like that. Okay, thank you, Brand. I appreciate you a lot. D for Deogen. That's very interesting. What particular reason would y'all not like a Deogen? Because it's just like frustrating to go against because you can't hide from it. Thank y'all for the ASMR time and the kid wombo combo. Thank you. I actually need that, bro, because we're doing a lot of talking right now. It bullies the newbies or people who don't play a lot anymore, like me. Oh, okay. See, this is why I wanted y'all involved too, because I know everybody don't play the game as much as I do, right? So I wanted like more opinions on how a newcomer, feels about certain types of ghosts and stuff like that. It's very interesting because most of them right now, we're all in like the same boat. We think around the same, only kind of easy to know but fun. Exactly. If you have a ghost that is doing the most, bro, like just trying to scare the fuck out of you and trying to do dumb shit to you, I'm putting Oni S tier, because that's my opinion, bro. I think it's probably one of the funnest ghosts to play against, because there's so much content with an Oni. It can do so many things to you. It's crazy, and it's scary, because the more ghost events it does, the more time the ghost touches you, the more often it's gonna hunt. So, and it drains your sanity more than any other ghost. If it does a ghost event and touches you with that ghost event, it will do significantly more than a normal ghost would. So it can also hunt super quick, and it can be a dangerous boy. And obviously the more ghost events it does, the more it's around you, so it's gonna hunt on top of you more often. Dude, it's such a fun ghost. I love Oni so much. Revenant S tier low. I think you already reading my mind, Fallen. Nice. So S tier for y'all too. Dude, I love it so much. That's really pretty much all I got to say about an Oni. It can be dangerous. It can be very dangerous ghost, but it's a super fun ghost. I love it. It doesn't have any speed abilities or anything like that. Like, it can't run up to you super fast, but it can hunt you fast, and it can catch you off guard a lot. And that's what I like about a ghost. So yeah, we're gonna put the other poll up for Thay. Thay is one of the newest ghosts, which can have the ability to hunt at 75% sanity. It can have the ability to hunt at 75% sanity. So you got to be very careful with it, but that's not all. A Thay is fast as fuck. A Thay is super fucking fast. Another easy way to find out if it's a Thay or not is if you get hunted really fast, because it's 75% hunted it hunts you at 75%. It's a chance it can do that. And if you hear it moving really fast, it's a they. Like, it's just instantly a they. So they're super easy to figure out, but they're super scary at the same time. But guys, them motherfuckers don't slow down until I think actually let me look at my little cheat sheet I got up over here. Okay, yeah. Okay, I was thinking the same. I was thinking the right thing. So a they is super fucking fast, so they can be dangerous at first. But the more time you are in their ghost room, right, the more they age. It's an aging ghost. So the more time you're around them and in their ghost room, they'll get slower and slower and slower. So the younger they are, the faster they are. The more you're around them, and the older they get, the slower they get. The slower they get, the more you're around them. And so as the game goes on, the more time you spend in the ghost room trying to figure out what the ghost is and stuff like that, they don't become as dangerous. But like I said, they can hunt early. They can just screw you right in the butt from the get-go, like at 75%. Because once you use like a cursed object or something like that, right, like a mirror, it's gonna drain 20% instantly. So you'll instantly be at 80% sanity, and the passive sanity drain over time, you'll be at 75% in no time, and it's just gonna pop that booty, bro. It can get dangerous, but like I said, the more time you and you have to be in the ghost room for it to age. You can't be like in the map. If the more you're around the day, the more it ages and the slower it gets. But another thing is, right, by the time that they ages, you'll already figure out and you'll already be gone, right? So you really won't even have much time to see its slow effect and how slow, because they can get super slow. I'm gonna say, honestly, it's a very dangerous ghost, but they're super easy to figure out and it's super easy to counter, because you take pills, you head into the ghost room, and you just stand in the ghost room, and it can just be super slow. So honestly,
I give you some kisses.
they's very dangerous, but I honestly think it's a B tier. I think it's a B tier because it's not the ghost that keeps you on your toe much. It's easy to get away from, and well, if you're prepared for it, and there's just, but I enjoy playing against it. It's fun. It keeps you on your toes, like especially the first few minutes of the game. But once you figure out all the evidence and figure out what it is, it's not hard to figure out what it is at all. So you just say "they," you get out of there. So the passive ability where it gets slower is pretty much just irrelevant, if that makes sense. But yeah, again, I hope you guys are learning something from this, because like the more you play the game, the more the scarier ghosts like get less scary per se, because you know how to like deal with them and stuff like that. So eventually y'all will get there. A tier, got you. A tier for they. I see. I like it. I was thinking about putting it in A. So if there was a category in between A and B, I would put it there. But I just think just because of its passive ability not really being used that often, and you can instantly like figure it out really fast, that's the only reason I put it in B. So I get it. But if it does take you longer to figure the ghost out, I would 100% put it in A too. I agree. And sometimes you have those games where you can't figure it out super fast. So the next one, the Hantu. Another ghost that is a very interesting one. Another one that can be very scary. It can be very scary, but also one of the easiest ghosts in the game, in my opinion. I think a Hantu is one of the easiest ones to find out, easiest ones to counter, easiest ones to deal with. They're not that threatening once you understand how the Hantu works, which I'm about to explain. It can be scary for a newer player if you don't know what you're doing against a Hantu, but what a Hantu does is it can be fast. It can be a fast boy. If the breaker is off and the house is a very cold temperature, it can be one of the fastest ghosts in the game. So that's an easy way to kind of figure it out. If you don't have the breaker on and it's really cold in the house, it'll always be cold in the ghost room because a Hantu has freezing temperatures, right? So any time it hunts in the ghost room, it's gonna be super fast. It's gonna be a super fast ghost in the ghost room because it's freezing in there. So the best way to deal with a Hantu is, you're not gonna be in the ghost room anyway if you're trying to get a hunt, right? To figure out what the ghost is. So it's gonna slow way down. It's another ghost you can loop around a counter because of how slow it is. You don't need smudge sticks. Just like with a Deogen, you don't need smudge sticks. You can just run around the counter and eventually it'll stop hunting. If it's in a warm room. If it's in a cold room, you're gonna die. You're gonna die, bro. He is fast. It's a very motherfucking fast ghost. But that's pretty much there's this useless ability that the Hantu has where no other ghost has, that you never see. And I don't know how exactly they would fix it, but it has this thing where another way you can figure out if it's a Hantu or not. And I'm not sure if it has to be during a hunt or you can see it during a ghost event, but you'll see freezing breath coming out of its mouth whenever it shows itself. Like I said, I'm not sure if it's during a hunt or an event. I think it's only during a hunt, which again, why would you ever use that to try to find out if it's a Hantu? If it's it's fast as fuck. It's fast as fuck, if it's in a freezing room. And so you're not gonna be sitting there in the ghost room versus a Hantu in a freezing ass room looking for breath to come out of his mouth. You know what I'm saying? And it's such a little, you can barely see it whenever it does happen. You can barely see it, and it is not a constant thing. I think Hantu is fun, but I think I'm gonna put it in come on, bro. I'm gonna put it in come on, bro. I think y'all put it in C2, which I agree. I 100% agree. I'm gonna put it in come on, bro. Like you could be better. There are things they could do to make the Hantu a bit more scarier, but I get why there's not like all the ghosts aren't insanely scary in this game. Like I get it. You want to like have a balance of some sort. oh, nice one. They all scare me. True. We got a little bit more to go, bro. We getting through this thing though, bro. I'm liking the way it looks. We looking like the AT&T bars right now. The next one, a very unique ghost. I'll say that is a very unique ghost, but also really easy to figure out. Again, it's another teleporting ghost out of the three. So the Wraith 100% teleports. We already talked about that, but the Phantom and the Banshee, they all teleport to you, but the Phantom is more of like a walk to you, and then it'll do interactions and stuff like the Wraith, like we talked about the Wraith doing, where it throws stuff, like it'll teleport to you. The Wraith will teleport to you, and then it'll throw stuff around and stuff like that. The Phantom will do the same thing, but the Phantom walks to you instead of teleports to you. So, and the only way that will give off an EMF, but the only way it'll give off an EMF is if you're in, like, most of this is going off solo play, by the way. Some ghosts can be completely different in multiplayer. We'll get there when we talk about the Banshee. But like say a Phantom randomly roams, like walks to a target if you're playing multiplayer, because it's not going to do this very much if you're in single player, unless you're not in the ghost room, which most of the time you're in the ghost room, right? So it'll randomly walk to a player, like a Banshee will teleport, and it'll give off an EMF from where it started, that not where it ends off, at the player. So again, you're not going to use that very much, and the definite 100% way to find out a Phantom is to take a picture of it. If it does a ghost event, take a picture of it. It disappears. Then if you look at your photo, like say you take a picture of it and it's like the singing ghost event where it's like or whatever, and you take a picture of it and the ghost disappears, but you still hear the ghost event going on, then it's a Phantom. Or like if the sound ends and you weren't really sure if it's a phantom or not, and the sound ends like right when you take the picture, you can go to the book and you can look at the picture, and if the picture says ghost and there's no ghost in the picture, then it's a phantom. And there's no static or anything like that, because there's not going to be static whenever you take a picture of a phantom and it disappears. So that's the main way to figure out if it's a phantom. The other main way is it'll disappear. Oh, also I forgot to mention that the Oni, okay, so the phantom disappears more often whenever it's on a hunt, right? So all ghosts have a certain time where they blink. Like you see them blink, right? Whenever it's hunting you, you see them blink. They have a certain time where they blink in and out. It's like I can't remember the exact time, man. I wish I did, but I can't remember. But they have a certain time, but it's 100% noticeable when it's a phantom, because it'll blink less. It'll be invisible less frequently. You won't see it as much. And it's the complete opposite with the Oni. You'll see it more. The Oni will be visible for longer during a hunt, and the phantom will be less visible for longer during a hunt. So if you like got to get the smudge stick objective, right, and you're looping the ghost around the bar for a second and you can barely see it sometimes, it just like disappears, then it's most likely a phantom. That's another easy way to figure out that, and a Oni. That and a Oni is an easy way to figure out. But again, C and D, tied for C and D. Got you. I'd have to agree though. I'd have to agree with the C. I'd have to agree with the C, bro. It's a come on, bro. It's a come on, bro. We gonna get to the Dookie Ghost. Don't worry. We gonna get to the Dookie Ghost. But it's a very come on, bro, ghost. That's the phantom. You take a picture of it, and it disappears. Easy to figure out, or you get it to hunt and you don't see it very much, like appear in front of you very much, and it's just almost invisible. It's a phantom, like 100%. Speaking of D tier ghost, we're on to the Goryo. This is one of, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this in. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in D tier, because I do not like this ghost. I do not like finding out a Goryo, especially on nightmare mode, because its strength is, which I mean, it is a pretty aggravating strength, is it doesn't roam a lot, and sometimes it does roam, and it's so hard to figure out what it is. It doesn't, so a Goryo doesn't roam as often as or other ghost does. It'll stay in its ghost room most of the time, but it still has a chance to roam. It can still roam, and that is what's most frustrating, right? And the only way you can tell if it's a Goryo or not is its ability is where it'll you can't see is one of its evidence is a dots projector, right? So you can't see the dots projector with your eyeballs with a Goryo. You can only see it with a camera. So that's why on nightmare or any kind of difficulty where it's hiding evidence, a Goryo must have dots. That's another way to figure it out. If you're playing on nightmare or whatever, a Goryo has to have dots as its evidence. And but yeah, again, it's frustrating to play against. It doesn't change its ghost room. You sit there for hours and you're looking for dots or something to figure out, and you're not seeing any of them, and you go back to the truck to look at the camera to look for dots to see if it's a Goryo, and then it never gives you dots on the camera, so you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then like 20 minutes later, you go back to the truck, you look at it, and then you see dots on the camera, but you're like, wait, can I see that in person? So you go back to the thing and then you look at the dots in person, and then you don't see any dots, so you're like, okay, well, I haven't seen any dots in a while, it might be a Goryo, but you're unsure, so you're second guessing, and then you go back to the truck and you see the dots on the camera again. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna say it's a Goryo, and that's happened to me a few times, and like it wasn't a Goryo. Like they're mischievous and so aggravating to play against, bro. Like Goryo is one of the ghosts that makes me second guess, and I just don't have a fun time whenever I play against a Goryo. I really don't. They're just so random and RNG oriented. I don't like RNG. in like a Ghost or any type of game. I don't really like it. So that's why I'm putting it in D tier. I dislike Goryo a lot. It's dookie. I think it's dookie. That's just my personal opinion. B or C? Okay, got you. Yeah. Again, nothing really special about it besides it doesn't roam very often, or you can only see dots with a camera. And another good way to figure that out is go in with a camera, right? And try to look for dots on the camera while looking at the dots with your eyeballs at the same time. But I don't know, man. Sometimes I'll be seeing it like your eyes can't be in two places at one time, right? Unless you go cross-eyed. Like, man, I don't know how the fuck you would do that. So like you'll see dots on the camera and you'll be like, wait, did I see that with my eyes too? I don't know. So you'll be standing there like another 5 minutes waiting for it to go off. It's just, I just think it's very frustrating. I think it's very frustrating, but I could see it in C as well. But I think we needed a D. And this Goryo can get the D from me. To the Poltergeist. Another very, very popular just ghost in general, like IRL. Or you know,
I give you some kisses.
Thank you for the kisses, baby. Very popular ghost IRL, or you know, in Phasmo, wherever you see it, you hear about a poltergeist, like in ghost stories. They're very in movies, stuff like that. It's just a very, you know, really loved ghost type. And I have to agree, Poltergeist is a very, very amazing ghost. And again, I think is one of my favorites, as well as a lot of people's favorites in Phasmophobia. And reason being, if you don't know what a poltergeist does, which I'm sure you do, but if you don't know what a poltergeist does, it just yeets stuff. It yeets stuff a lot, and it has one of the coolest abilities. Why I rank this ghost pretty high is because of its ability. We caught it on stream the other night, and it's the coolest ability in the game. I think it's one of the coolest abilities in the game. It has the ability to yeet a bunch of stuff at one time, like just straight up yeet everything in the room and make everything explode. If you stack everything on top of each other, it'll just explode it. It'll explode it like a really big cum explosion, bro. It's like whenever your girl touched you after a year of no sex or anything, you're just gonna explode. And that's what it looks like. And I think it's so cool to look at. S tier, it throws a shit in a pile. Yes sir, dude. Yeah, you were there for that. You the one that stacked up the shit. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. It's such a fun ghost, such a very fun ghost to play around with. But I personally don't think it's quite S tier, because like it's not too scary, right? It's just like a super fun. It's just super fun to play, and it's super fun. Its ability is one of the coolest ones in the game, in my opinion. So I'm gonna put it in A tier. So just because it's not super scary to play against. But here's another thing that I forgot about. That my choice is still A tier, but it's every time it does its ability and yeets an item, you lose 2% sanity. So if you in that room when it throws that whole fucking pile of stuff, 2% sanity per item, that adds up. And your sanity will drop all the way to 0 if you got a fuck ton of items piled up and it does its ability and you're next to it. It because you lose 2% per item again. So yeah, that's another thing the poltergeist has that can make you get doo-dooed on quite easily. Another fun one. Yeah, dude, the poltergeist is just very unique, well loved, just ghosts in general, not just in Phasmo, but just in the ghost hunting world. If you're familiar with it, bro, it's an amazing ghost. S or 8? Yes sir, I have to agree, man. Again, if there was a rank between S or A, I would put it in between S or A. I'd 100% have to agree with y'all, bro. It's one of the funnest ghosts in the game. The next ghost, the Myling. Another kind of tough ghost to figure out. I'm not sure. The main way I figure out if it's not too scary. It doesn't like do too many things that like scare you or anything like that, but it can be dangerous because it's quiet. right? And what it means by quiet is whenever it's doing a hunt, the footsteps, you won't hear the footsteps until they get way closer to you. It has to be much closer for you to hear a Myling's footsteps, and that's what it means by silent. It doesn't really mean like the singing thing it does during a hunt, like if it's singing or, you know, going I'm gonna kill you, you know, things like that. You can hear that normally, but it's with the footsteps. If you can't hear the, like, okay, so here's the thing, that's, this is kind of tough to do though, but the way you can figure out is if it's a Myling is if you see your flashlight flashing before you hear the footsteps. That's a way you can figure out if it's a Myling, because your electronics is going to go off before you hear the ghost, because the Myling has to be so close for you to hear it, and the electronic equipment going off is at bigger range than that, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's one way you can figure it out. Or if you just can like barely hear it, if you're hiding somewhere, if you can barely hear it. What else? I don't know if actually I don't know if the Myling, I'm gonna bring up my cheat sheet for the Myling. If the Myling has really anything else besides being quiet. Produces quieter sounds during a hunt. Produces paranormal. Oh yeah, yeah. It does paranormal sounds less more frequently on the paramic, but again, that's another RNG thing. I'm not really fond of that too much. You can just have any ghost and point a paramic at it and it's gonna talk a lot. Like it's just another RNG thing. It's not really a good way to figure out if it's a Myling or not. But yeah, that's pretty much that's it. That's all the Myling does. It's just quieter. It has quieter footsteps. And a way to figure it out is if your flashlight starts blinking and flashing before you hear the footsteps. That's an easy way to figure it out. And yeah, that's pretty much it with a Myling. I want to say it's a B. I want to say it's a B because it's not like horrible to play against or anything like that. D. Okay, interesting. Got you. I'm gonna say, you know what? No, I'm gonna change mine. I'm gonna change it to C. I'm putting Myling in C. Like, come on, bro. Cause, like, again, another RNG type thing where it talks more in the paramic. Any ghost can talk a lot in the paramic, bro. It's like a RNG type thing, and you can. And the only way to figure it out is like footsteps, stuff like that. And I don't know. It just gets kind of frustrating, and sometimes it's not fun to play against, but it's not as bad as a Goryo. It's not as frustrating as a Goryo, so I think I'm gonna put it in C. I'm gonna put it in C. So I have to agree with y'all. Not my most favorite ghost in the game to go against. But moving on to the Banshee. Another pretty unique ghost. Again, it has, if y'all don't know what a Banshee do, a Banshee is everybody knows the Banshee. Banshee, another very well-known ghost just in the ghost hunting, you know, IRL ghost hunting and just ghost lore in general, is a Banshee. And the ability in Phasmo is if you point a paramic, another RNG thing, by the way, if you point a paramic at the ghost room or whatever, it has a chance to do a unique sound in the, I'll actually play that sound for y'all. Banshee has quite a bit of unique things about it, which I think is cool, but mainly in multiplayer. That scream right there, if you hear that, then it's a Banshee. No other ghost can do that noise. We'll play it one more time. That noise right there, if you have a paramic and you hear that, then it's a Banshee. So that's a way to figure it out. And yeah, and another thing for multiplayer, the Banshee is another ghost, by the way, that will quote unquote teleport to you. I'm actually not sure if the Banshee teleports or walks to you, but it's another ghost that can do that. And if you read the journal in the Banshee, it says it will choose a specific target and not change targets until that target is dead, which it says it's a strength, but I think that's more of like a weakness in my opinion. So so if you're playing multiplayer, right, the Banshee will pick a target. Once you spawn in, it'll pick a target. Once you enter the house, it'll pick a target. This is very fun. It's very fun to play against a Banshee in multiplayer because it'll pick a target, and whenever it hunts, it will only go for that specific target. It will not go for anybody else. It'll chase that fucking target around. You can be in the kitchen in Bleasdale, right, or something like that, and like you can just run circles around a ghost, bro. You can just run circles around a ghost. If it's not targeting you, it won't give a fuck about you. It won't do anything to you besides that target. But you know, for solo play, it's kind of useless because you're by yourself and you're obviously the target. So that's another very interesting thing about a Banshee, and it's fun. And it's fun to play against a Banshee with a team because the person targeted can, if they can loop it around a table, and then like you can just run up into Ghost and start sniffing his butthole and stuff like that, and it won't do anything to you unless it touches that target. And if it's on Nightmare, you got to be kind of careful because on Nightmare it chain hunts, right? And if it does kill that target and y'all are fucking around like that having a good time and it does kill that target, it's gonna change targets and then go to your ass because the hunts don't stop on Nightmare, right? So it's just gonna keep chain hunting, and it's gonna keep until it kills all of you, and then you're dead. So you gotta be careful on Nightmare and stuff about that if you're messing around with it. But it's a really fun ghost to play with. I'm gonna say this is I think Banshee's an A-tier ghost. I think it's really cool. The Banshee scream is really cool, and that's really the only flaw. I would say it's kind of frustrating to try to figure out if it's a Banshee solo, because you're sitting there with the paramic, and you know, usually if I'm playing Nightmare or whatever and it's Banshee or whatever other ghost as the choices, I just sit there with a paramic and thank you for this, so good and tasty. I sit with a paramic, and after like four or five ghost voices, if I can get that many and I don't hear the Banshee scream, I just automatically rule out Banshee. That's pretty much my way of figuring out if it's a Banshee or not if you're playing it solo. Next one. What did y'all do for Banshee, by the way, bro? I didn't even see it. Onryo. Moving on to the Onryo, man. Chill said this was S tier ghost for him, but I think it's a pretty cool ghost. Thank you for the 10 biddies, Neon. I appreciate you. I just bought bits just to give some love for you. I love you so much. Thank y'all so much. Thank you so much for the 10 bits, Neon, for the 5 bits. Breezy, I love you so much. Thank you. But yeah, Onryo. Onryo, another really cool ghost that's pretty unique. If you don't know what the Onryo does, it is a ghost that can use candles as like crucifixes. And it says in the journal, it's like and I think how it works, right? It uses candles as crucifixes, but once it blows out 3 of them, it will initiate a hunt. I think like every candle it blows out after 3, it'll initiate a hunt or something like that. So a good way to figure out if it's an Onryo or not is to put a crucifix on, or put a candle on top of a crucifix, right? And if you're in the ghost room, we had an Onryo the other night. This is how we figured it out. If you're in the ghost room and it's constantly blowing out the candles and not hunting you and not using any of the crucifixes, then it is most likely an Onryo. Because if you keep the candles lit, it's not going to be able to hunt. It's not going to be able to, even after it blows out its 3. And unless it goes out of the ghost room or something like that, then it can hunt. If it goes out of the ghost room, like nowhere near the candles, then it can hunt anywhere. But if you keep the candles lit, it's not gonna hunt you. And that's way to figure out Onryo. I don't think it has any speed buffs or anything like that. So it's just like a, normal basic bitch ghost that's afraid of fire. That's what the Onryo is. And yeah, I think it's a very fun one to mess around with, because you can just put candles everywhere and it won't be able to hunt or anything. And like you could just mess around with it, but it's also like not super scary to go against, if that makes sense. What is there anything else about an Onryo? Let me pull up my little cheat sheet. It can even, oh yeah, it can even blow out the campfire on campsite. Just any source of fire, it'll blow that bitch out, bro. More frequently than other ghosts. Oh, and Unreals also can hunt at 60% instead of 50%. So yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I didn't mention about an Unreal. It's scary because it has a higher hunt threshold, and yeah, but if you have candles in there, again, you don't have to worry about it. Like, it's just this. I'm gonna say Unreal is a basic. I really gotta pee right now. Look, y'all agree with me. Basic, bro. Y'all, I love y'all so much, man. I love y'all so much. I really gotta pee, so I'm gonna go pee before we do Dude, we've been doing this an hour and 40 minutes, bro. Time's flying. That means we having a good time, though. At least I am. I hope y'all are having a good time. I have to agree, bro. B for Unreal. Easy to figure out, but it's not bad. It's not a bad ghost. Just like they in Spirit, they're not bad. I hope y'all are doing well, but we're gonna continue on with the Jinn. And the Jinn, again, bars, is one of my favorite ghosts in this game. One of my I wouldn't quite say it's S tier, but it's a with your positive look. Yes sir, bro. Thank you so much for the 100 bits, dude. I appreciate you so much. You don't have to do that. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Love you too, dude. Thank you for coming in here and check it out. Love your energy as well, bro. Love your energy as well. I'm just saying, you're a really great guy. But Jinn, again, one of the coolest ghosts, I think. If you don't know what a Jinn does, like, we're starting polls for if y'all want to go ahead and rate the ghost, whatever y'all want to rate it. I'm gonna explain it as we go. That's why it's a bit like a 3-minute poll vote. But a Jinn, very cool ghost. If you don't know what a Jinn does, its ability is it'll be fast when the breaker is on if it has line of sight of you. Okay, so that's a way to find out if it's a Jinn or not. Is, say you're on Tanglewood, right? The Jinn's in the basement, and you want to trying to figure out what the ghost is. Like, you want to initiate a hunt, and you have the breaker on. If it comes out of that basement door, y'all all know Tanglewood. Y'all know what it looks like. Most of y'all anyway. You can see the basement door from the back of the garage, right? So if you stand at the back of the garage and you look at the basement door and you see the ghost zooming at you, and you know, if the choice is a Jinn or whatever, if you got the 2 evidences on Nightmare or Professional, again, it's you just find the evidence and figure it out. So it's not that. So a lot of my things I'm thinking about Nightmare or above here, and a way to figure it out is if it zooms at you in the breaker, and the breaker has to be on for it to do this, by the way. If it's off, it won't do it. It'll zoom at you really fast, and then it'll just stop and go to normal speed like any other ghost once it reaches a certain point. But it's still dangerous because, you know, the speed up time that the ghosts have now, as they have line of sight on you, they get faster and faster over time. It still has that, so it can still dookie on you. So it's quite a dangerous ghost. It's a very fun one to play against. And another way to figure out if it's not a Jinn is if it flips the breaker, because the Jinn's ability has to do with the breaker, so it won't flip the breaker off, right? So if you playing like a 30-minute game or something, like a really long game, and the breaker has never flipped once, then it is most likely a Jinn. But if it has flipped, you can automatically scratch out that it's not a Jinn. We use that a lot. Y'all see that a lot on stream. Oh, breaker flip, not a Jinn, and then just cross out Jinn. That's a good way to roll it out. I'm here to support. Thank you, bro. Thank you so much. Jinn is fun, but kind of easy if I'm remember right. Yeah, exactly. It can be easy once you know what you're looking for. Once you know the Jinn can't flip the breaker, it gets pretty easy to rule out, at least, and pretty easy to know what it is once it hunts. And yeah, y'all say A tier. I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking A tier, but a Jinn is really fun to play around with. I was thinking the same thing around A or B. I was thinking the same exact thing. It's really fun to play around with. Like, also scary, but it definitely keep you on your toes too. That's another thing about the Jinn. It'll keep you on your toes because you don't want to get caught with your pants down and then it tickle your Peter. Like, and that's happened to me countless times. And I'm like, oh fuck yeah, it's a Jinn. It can run super fast. And then like I'm like, oh god damn it, I don't have a smudge stick, and now I'm dead. So that's why I think it's an A tier. and it still has the speed up mechanic over time as it has a line of sight of you. So I have to agree. I think it's A tier too. I agree. That's where I was gonna put it. The twins, another really cool one, but another really easy one to figure out. Another really cool ghost, very unique ghost. I think is cool, and the reason why it's so is it can be easy to figure out is that there's a couple ways to figure out if it's a twins or not. They can be dangerous, of course, because this is the only ghost that has. It's weird the way it works because it's easier to think of it as it's two ghosts, right? It's two ghosts. It's easier to think of it as two ghosts, but it's not really two ghosts. It's not actually a ghost that's doing the other thing. But only one of the ghosts will give. But it's just easier to think that it's two ghosts. Just think of it that way. It'll be fine. And but one, the like mimic ghost or whatever, right, won't give off all the evidence. Only like one of the ghosts will give off all the evidence. So the only other thing the twin can do per se is interactions. Like it can throw stuff, it can even do ghost events, and the twins can hunt from either location, whichever wherever the twin is at. It can hunt from the main ghost room the actual twin is in, or it can hunt from where, and it'll never be like, the twins will never be like, say you're playing Sunny Meadows or whatever, and you have the twins, and the ghost room is the like cathedral or chapel or whatever where all the candles is. The other twin won't be all the way down the hallway in the morgue. That's not how it works. The two twins will always be close together in proximity. They can be in different rooms, but they will always be like close together to each other. But it can initiate a hunt at either one of those locations. One is angry to one, and one is calm. Yeah, pretty much. One throws stuff. They both throw stuff and stuff like that, but one will only give off evidence. Yeah, that's the angry one. But and like I said, there's multiple ways to figure out if it's twins or not. If you're seeing a bunch of activity in two separate rooms, and it's probably the twins. Or if you go to the EMF board, if you're playing on professional or whatever, because on nightmare it's disabled, of course. But if you go to the EMF board and you see like a weird slanted spike that's not consistent, if it's consistent, then like slightly spikes down a little bit and then consistent again, and it's probably the twins. That's called a twin interaction. You can tell by looking at the board, because like one twin will do an interaction and another twin will do another one really quickly, like back to back, and that's a way you can tell that it's twins or not. But the way I like to figure it out, the easiest way, in my opinion, is doing a hunt, because one twin is slightly slower than default movement speed of a ghost, and the other twin is slightly faster. So what I like to do is, each ghost has a default movement speed, right? They all move pretty much the same depending on what ghost it is. Whew, I need some water. But the twins, of course, move slightly faster or slower. But what I like to do is like keep the tempo in my head. That's why y'all see me bopping my head and stuff when it's hunting. So like if you hear like that's like normal movement speed. But if you hear it's like slightly faster or slower, like then it's probably like at one point it's slightly faster, and then it hunts again, and then the next point is slightly slower, like then it's probably the twins. It's most likely the twins, which is another really cool, unique way to figure it out, which I think is really cool. Really, really cool. I love the twins a lot. I like facing against them. They can throw you for a loop sometimes, where it's like, oh, the ghost is in here, but you're not getting any evidence. That's because you're in the room with the ghosts that don't give any evidence. You got to find the actual ghost room where the actual ghost is that gives you the evidence. And I like it a lot. It keeps you on your toes, and it's just a very fun ghost. And I think it's A tier. I think it's A tier, bro. 100%. I think that ghost is A. There's a lot of, I like a lot of ghosts in this game, bro. A lot of this game has so many good ghosts now. I'm so glad they added more and did more, bro. They're doing such a good job with this game. I think they are. The next one, Mayor, another really cool ghost. I think it's cool. But yeah, that's the twins. And I see y'all voted A, which I agree. I think it's an A. And Yeah, there's some few ways you can figure out if it's the twins or not. If you have that choice in Nightmare, if you're playing Nightmare or Professional, you can't find the last evidence or something. That's why you can figure it out. If it hunts, if you hear that it's semi faster than a normal ghost or semi slower than a normal ghost, then it's most likely the twins. But it can throw you for a loop. That in a We had one game where a Moroi, we'll get to that in a second, like about the Moroi, but a Moroi gets faster the less your sanity is. So our sanity was slightly low, but it wasn't super low yet. So it was moving at like a faster speed. So I automatically assumed it was the faster twin because it sounded exactly the same. And so I voted twins, but it ended up being Moroi, but because Moroi is another or like semi early hunter. It can hunt at like 60 or so percent sanity, but we'll get there. And it can also throw you for a loop. But that's why I like the twins, bro. It's very cool. But the mayor, here we go. Um, Everybody, another really popular ghost in like ghost hunting community in general, like in real life or in Phasmo, the mayor is it really is it's easy to figure out, but it's not at the same time. It used to be super easy to figure out because the one of the mayor's ability is it'll instantly turn off a light switch whenever you turn it on because it doesn't like the light. The mayors don't like lights, so it's most likely, like say you're in the ghost room and you always have the light on, it's most likely going to roam to a room that doesn't have the light on. It can do that. The mayor's like rooms that don't have the light on. It can move to a room that doesn't have the light on if you have the light on in the ghost room for a long period of time, and it can hunt from the dark room. If the room is dark, it has the ability to hunt at 60% sanity if the room is dark. But if the room is light and it's still in the lit room, it doesn't hunt until 40%. So that's another way you can figure it out. Your sanity has to get down to 40% if the light is on for it to hunt you. But if the light is off, it can hunt at 60%. And but again, the mayor has the ability to instantly cut the light switch off. It's another way to tell if it's instantly a mayor is if you flip a light switch and it flips it off like instantly, like I mean instantly, like you'll flip a switch and be like it'll be like that. It'll cut that bitch right off, and that's how you know it's a mayor because really other ghosts can do that, but mayors do that more often, and it's more often to do the ghost event where the lights blow, where the lights just like explode. It's more often to do that ghost event as well. It has a higher chance to do that. And what else? What else was I gonna say about it? Oh yeah. So if you see a ghost turn on a light, an easy way to rule out a mayor is if you see a ghost turn on a light. It cannot do that. That goes for keyboards, like on PCs. If you see the PC light up, the mayor can't turn that on. If you see a lamp light up, it can't turn that on. If you see the TV turn on, it can't turn that on. Anything you can turn on electrically, the mayor cannot turn on. So yeah, that's another way to rule one out. If you see it turn on something, then it's automatically not a mayor. So because they can only turn stuff off, they can only turn off lights and stuff like that. So yeah, that's honestly, mayor is like a basic. I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say B. I was gonna say B. I was gonna say it's a basic bitch. Like it's really easy to figure out. It doesn't really do anything special. It's not fast. It's cool. The ability is cool, but it's really easy to figure out. And it's just really a basic ass ghost, you know. And so yeah, that's where I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna say B. Y'all said C. I was thinking that as well, somewhere in between B and C. So I completely get it. It's not like super scary, but it's fun to fuck around with because you used to be able to do this bug, right? You can't do it no more, but it used to be even easier to figure out a mirror, bro. You used to be able to do this bug, like you just keep flipping a light switch on and off, like in the ghost room. You just keep clicking it, and then it'll just do its ability, like almost every single time. But they patched that. You can't do that no more. And I remember that it was fun. It was fun, but I get why they fixed it, bro. That wasn't supposed to happen. It was so easy to figure out a mirror that way. But yeah, we used to. That's how we used to figure it out all the time. We're like, "Are you a mayor?" And we go, and it go, like, "Yep, it's a mayor. We're gone." And it was just that easy. I was Bullying the ghost. Yeah, dude. If you don't bully the ghost in Phasmo, bro, there's something going on. If you don't bully it every now and then. Till that one time it decides to hunt. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because a mare, well, a mare, I don't think a mare used to be able to roam to darker rooms more frequently if you have the light on. I don't think it used to be able to do that. Maybe it did, but um, now a mare can get scary because it can move to a darker room and be like, okay, I want to be in here now and then hunt. But again, it doesn't have a move speed or anything like that, so they're not quite hard to deal with. So yeah, I'm still going to keep it in B. But yeah, Raiju, that is a bitch, man. Dude, okay, I got shit to say about a Raiju, bro. I might be a bit, but Raijus are my arch enemy in this game. They are my arch enemy. If you look in my journal, my most common ghost is a Raiju, and I always thought that until I never looked at my book, like my most common ghost book, like ever, until Sushi said the other night, like I was just like, bro, I always get Raiju, bro. It's always Raiju. It's always Raiju. And I looked at the journal and it said my most common ghost was Raiju, and so that just confirmed it. And I was like, dude, like I'm always getting Raiju in my games, and it's still my most common ghost. It's still my most common ghost. I'm always getting, and then got something different like 4 games in a row. That's true. We got wait, yeah, it was a gym. We got a gym like 4 games in a row. That was crazy. As soon as I said that, it was like, okay, we ain't gonna give you Raiju no more, and then give you Jin 4 times in a row. But yeah, Raiju is still my most common ghost in my book. And again, I very, very, this is a ghost that's scary as fuck. In my opinion, I think it's scary as fuck because you can't have any electronics on. The lights of the house don't count, by the way. You can have those on and you'll be fine. It doesn't gain a speed boost. So what a Raiju does is it gets very fast the more it's around electrical equipment. It gets super fast, and all the evidence for a Raiju, guess what, is electrical. And it's EMF 5, I think it's EMF 5, dots, and ghost orbs. I think those are the 3 evidence for a Raiju. So you have to use electrical equipment to find out a Raiju. Is so troll, bro. And it's so terrifying to play against. So once you like figure out if it's a Raiju or not, your best case. So it's easy to figure out though, because you can.
Give me that booty boy. Right. Give me that booty boy.
Guess you're a Raiju, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's easy to figure out a Raiju though, because if you just leave like, if you're in hunting range, right? Because a Raiju can hunt at 65% or 60. I think it's 65. But if electrical equipment is around, and you can just leave your flashlight like in the ghost room or something and go hide in a closet so it doesn't know where you're at anyway, and you can hear it running real fast, and then once it gets away from the flashlight and slows down, you know it's a Raiju. So it's pretty easy to figure out. But it also, if you don't know what the ghost is yet, it can just dookie on you, and it's one of the most scary ghosts to play against in my opinion. So I'm going S tier. Oh wait, not Revenant. Wait, where did I put it? Oh, right here. I'm going S tier for a Raiju. So, yes, sir. I can't see the poll. Oh, no. Oh, wait. I didn't do the poll. Oh, fuck. Yo, my bad. I didn't even do it. Fuck. We're going to do it. Raiju. S. A. B. C. D. Mods can do this too, by the way. So if y'all want to put up the poll too and I forget to do it, just go ahead and do it. So we're gonna do it for 1 minute because I fucking forgot and already explained everything about a Raiju. But yeah, I think Raiju is they're terrifying to go against. They can be super fun. All the evidence is electrical. It can hunt you at 65% when you have electrical equipment around. It's just such. I remember when this ghost came out, it like took over the Revenant, right? Because the Revenant back in the day was the ghost to be scared of, and it's still a scary ghost, which we'll get into that next. The next one, obviously, but it's the Raiju. I think is so much more scary, and yeah. Apparently, I don't know if they did or not, but apparently, I heard they did something to the Revenant recently, and I'm not familiar with that. So if anybody knows anything about that, the tier list. What's up, Abby? How y'all doing? How you doing, Abby? I hope you're having a good night. Good or bad night. Love you, and I'm very proud of you. It's just so funny when you're starting, you're screwed. Like it goes, so, yeah, dude. It's so scary. Like you can't. It's like, what do you do, right? Because like if you're playing on Nightmare or whatever, the cooldown is like barely anything. So that's unless you have a smudge stick on you, you could probably get away from it. But again, you're not always gonna have a smudge stick on you, especially around that sanity range, like 65%. You're doing, oh, okay, it's not gonna hunt yet. I'll be fine. And most likely the times you are not gonna bring a smudge stick on you. So yeah, it's a scary ghost. But on to the Revenant. Revenant, another very easy ghost to figure out if it's a Revenant or not. Because it'll be super slow until it has line of sight of you. Let me go ahead and put the poll up for Revenant. Until it has another very popular, very popular ghost, by the way, in the game, which I have the Revenant will always have a place in my heart, so I'm a bit biased towards the Revenant, to be honest. Because like I said before the Raiju even came out, oh fuck, I fucked it up. The Revenant was the most dominant ghost in the game by far. So it's easy to figure out because you can hide once a Revenant gets into a hunt. It's super slow. It's so slow. One of the slowest ghosts in the games. If it doesn't have line of sight of anybody, if it doesn't see anybody, it's gonna go super slow. Just walk around the house. You could you'll be able to tell. Even if you're a new player, you'll be able to tell that motherfucker just walking like it's got it. It sounds like that man's is literally on crutches, just like crutching around, bro. He's so slow. But once he sees you with them eyeballs, bro. Once he sees you with them eyeballs, that motherfucker, he's gone like the fucking nitrous boost in Mario Kart, bro. Like he's just gone, bro. Like you got to be very careful with that. And that's another easy way to find out if it's a Revenant or not. If you can't hear it for some odd reason, like say you don't have headphones or whatever, and you can just get a hunt and it can zoom towards you, like, oh god, it's a Revenant. But yeah, it can be very fucking dangerous. But this ghost always has a place in my heart, bro. I love Revenant so much. We've had so many encounters with the Revenant back in the day, like during the Asylum days. It was the only ghost that could like kill you, right? Because they didn't have the speed up mechanic yet back then. And the Revenant was the only ghost that could get faster when it saw you. So we would play solo Asylum runs sometimes and have Revenants, and I would just get out of there instantly. I wouldn't even try because the hallways are so long, and if the ghost hunts, you're just dead. You're just dead. And the knowledge I'm getting, yes sir, yes sir. All this is, I'm probably gonna post this tier list on YouTube, by the way. So if y'all want to go back and watch what we said about the other ones, y'all are gonna be able to do that. So yeah, I think this is really fun, and I'm glad y'all are like learning something from it. But the thing is about the Revenant is, if you are being chased by a Revenant, and say you don't have a smudge stick or whatever, you don't have a smudge stick, and a Revenant sees you, just try to break line of sight as soon as possible. Just try to do that. Wait, no, you can't do that anymore because they updated it, because the ghost now knows like where you are. Even if you break the line of sight of it, I still think the Revenant thinks it has the line of sight of you, even if you break it. Like go around, like say if it hunts you in the kitchen on Tanglewood, right? And it sees you, and you go around the corner of the garage into that little laundry room, and it loses track of you, I still think it'll zoom to that last point that it saw you, but then it'll slow down. So you can't even really do that anymore. So you just got to be very careful against a revenant. It'll zoom to that last point it saw you, and then if it doesn't see you again, then it'll slow down. I think that's how it works now. But it used to just be able to break line of sight. It would slow down like right when you broke line of sight. But I don't think that happens anymore. It'll like check the direction you were heading, like it knows you were around that corner kind of. Yeah, they updated the ghost to be a lot smarter, so they know your last known location now, which is crazy. That's why you can't like really hide in the same hiding spot twice. If it like say it opens a locker and sees you in there and then it ends the hunt, you can't hide in there again, bro. It's gonna kill your ass next time. But yeah, which I like that change a lot. It made the game a lot. It made the game harder. But when that update came out, when they made the changes to ghosts like that, bro, I lost so much money. I was so broke like all the time. But we got back in it now, and we better with it. But dude, that was a great update. I'm glad they did that. It was super hard at first, but we got used to it. So yeah, Revenant, just cause it's a classic scary. I'm just gonna say S. I'm gonna say S tier. C tier, interesting, because it's easy to figure out. It's easy to figure out. I get it. It's very easy to figure out, and you know, you can do it. But just cause I'm a bit biased towards the Revenant, just cause there's a lot of memories with the Revenant of it scaring the fucking living shit out of me and stuff like that, like way back in the day, I'm gonna say S tier. But that's just mine. But I see why y'all said C tier. Like I could see that, because it's just easy, you know, it's a Revenant, and you just don't have to get seen by it, and you're fine. It's like not really that dangerous once you know what you're doing. But if you're a new player, bro, you're gonna get duked on by it. You're gonna get duked on by it. You're gonna get duked on by it. But yeah, one of my favorite ghosts too, like top 3 favorite ghosts for sure. Like these are my favorite ghosts too up here. Are like these are my personally like favorite to play against, and like all these up here are pretty much like my favorites. I just love playing against these ghosts so much. Okay, the Obake Bukake, the transforming ghost, the one that will change forms. So if y'all don't know what a Ubake Bukake does, is one of its abilities is, one of its evidence is fingerprints, right? It'll leave a unique fingerprint. It has a chance to leave a unique fingerprint that has 6 fingers instead of 5 fingers. And we actually showed that on stream too last time we had a Bukake, and that's how we figured it out on Nightmare. Was it left the fingerprint of 6 fingers instead of the normal 5-finger fingerprint. That's one of its abilities. But another ability the Obake has, and a really easy way to figure out, sorry, I'm doing the poll right now. Easy way to figure out Bukake is to look at it during a hunt, because now this is how it should have been in the first place, in my opinion. Because when the Obake came out, it used to not do this. It can shapeshift, and because the book said it would be able to shapeshift and stuff like that, we were thinking, oh my god, can it like turn into a player? You know, because that would be scary as fuck if it like looked like a player and it was hunting. You didn't know it was a player, you would die and stuff like that. But no, it did not do that when it came out. But now they updated it to where during a hunt, the Obake Bukake will change forms, like not to a player, unfortunately, which I think that would be kind of cool. But it'll change ghost models, right? To like, say it's the female with the exorcist looking female that crawls around on the ground and stuff. It can change into the old lady ghost model too. And that's how you know it's a Bukake as well. If you see it change ghost models like right in front of your eyes, you're like, oh god, it just fucking shapeshifted like right in front of my eyes. So I'm glad they added that. I'm super glad they did. And yeah, I'm not sure if they have any like early hunting capabilities or anything like that. So I'm gonna look at that. I do got a little cheat sheet over here because I can't remember every single little thing about every ghost. I wish I could. 75, the exact percentage of it leaving that fingerprint, by the way, is a 75% chance to leave the 6 finger. Oh wait, no. Sorry. What am I talking about? Okay, so it's not a 75% chance to leave that fingerprint. My bad. It's 75% chance to leave a fingerprint at all. Is it has less of a chance. Like sometimes it'll show fingerprints and sometimes it won't. So like where other ghosts is 100% that has fingerprints evidence, of course. Other ghosts is 100%. The Bukake will be at 75%. It won't leave a fingerprint every single time it touches a door. But I hardly ever encounter that. So I honestly forgot that even existed. I hardly ever see that. Um, two finger, six finger. No, it doesn't have. It just hunts at its normal 50% sanity or below. Ain't nothing different about that. But yeah, it can leave fingerprints less often. But again, I haven't seen that very much. I haven't. It and I have seen it happen before, but it doesn't happen very much, like to the point where I even forgot it existed. So I wouldn't really worry too much about that. And yeah, nothing really special about the hunt or anything. So I'm gonna say it's like a basic, like a basic bitch ghost, is what I'm gonna say. Basic bitch ghost. So yeah, not too scared to deal with. Okay, shade just Dookie, shades Dookie. Like I'm curious what y'all think, but that was the other ghost that was gonna go in D tier. I just no, no. Like shade, they're just so boring. They don't do anything. They don't do absolutely anything. S-A-B-C-B. Sorry, I'm getting the poll started up. And but yeah, shade, I'm just automatic D tier for me, bro. They don't do anything. If you're in the ghost room, they are just completely silent. They don't do anything else. Well, then again, sometimes you can have shades that are just fucking aggressive out of nowhere. I don't know if they're like broken right now or something, but I remember the last time Abby and I, well, it wasn't the last time Abby and I, but one time Abby and I played, we had a really aggressive shade that was fucking doing everything, doing the most. It made us think it was a demon. So we voted demon and it actually ended up being a shade. But yeah, shade, they don't, that if you're in the same room as them, if you're talking a lot, stuff like that, not most of the time, if the game's not broken, it will do absolutely nothing around you. It would be so boring. Like you'll just sit there for literally, and I don't think the shade can hunt. If you're in the ghost room, the shade can't hunt until it reaches 30% sanity. And I don't think it can do ghost events until it's at 40% sanity or something around that nature. It's a super low percentage range until it can do anything at all. So if you sit there forever and ever and ever and ever and it doesn't do anything, it doesn't throw anything, it's not doing any ghost events, it's not turning on a light, it's not doing anything at all, it's a shade. It's just such a boring ghost, bro. It's just automatic dookie tier. Just automatic dookie tier for me. It's so boring. It's a waste of time. A shade, I mean, it's in the name. It's shady. It's a shady ghost. Okay, that's pretty much all there is to say about the shade. I said shay. Say about the shade. Not much other than it's boring. And yeah, I think it's a D tier. The mimic. The mimic you. Wait, let me wait till this poll's ended for the shade first. Oh, it's on B tier for a shade. B tier for a shade. Y'all voted B tier. Why is that? I like shade because it's high risk. Got you. Got you. I guess in a way, but I think it's not, I don't think it's a high risk ghost at all. I really don't. You just sit in there. If it doesn't do anything, you automatically know what it is. And you have to get all the way down to 30% sanity before it hunts anyway. So yeah, it's just boring. It's easy and it doesn't do anything special whenever it hunts or anything like that. And yeah. But I could see that. I could see that though, like being high risk. So you're in there forever and like if you're not like super experienced with the game and you're not finding anything, like it's not doing anything, you're not finding any because one of the evidence for the shade is ghostwriting, right? And ghostwriting is already one of the hardest evidences to get. So it's one of the hardest evidences to get. So if the shade's not gonna do anything, it's not gonna write in the book for a long time. So you're gonna be standing around and it's not gonna be doing anything. You're not gonna be getting any evidence. So you're not gonna be knowing what it is. So once a shade does start going off, it goes off. That's true. It does go off a lot whenever it gets to that point. But all ghosts can go off a lot. It's not necessary. It doesn't have like a higher percent chance or anything for it to go off even more, you know, as if your sanity is below 30% or whatever. So it really depends on the game RNG. Most of the games I have, it's just boring. And when it hits 30%, it's just a basic ghost that just walks around and, you know, easy to find, get rid of. So yeah. But I get it. I do get it. I quite do understand you, Mr. Green Fox. The Mimic. The Mimic. Another ghost that I think is one of the best ghosts in the game, because it can be literally anything it wants. It's in the name. It can mimic literally any ghost in the game, even a player. It can even mimic itself. The Mimic can mimic itself, and it can mimic a player. But when it does that, by the way, it doesn't do anything special. It's just a normal default ghost, like kind of like a spirit without the smudge disadvantage that spirit has. It's just like it's just a normal ghost, but it still can do that, which I think is really cool. And it can change in, again, it can change in the most dangerous ghost at any point it wants to. Like you can just start the game on a map, right? And you can just start the game on a map, and it can just decide it wants to be a demon, right? It can just be a demon, and like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a good time on this map, you know, you're gonna have a good time. As soon as you walk in the door, because a demon can hunt at 100% sanity. As soon as you walk in the door, it can just start hunting. A Mimic can do that, and that's what I think is so fascinating about this ghost. It can do the ghost abilities. It can do, like, it can pretend to be a poltergeist. It can do the poltergeist ability to like throw you off a little bit. It can pretend to be a djinn, and it'll do the djinn ability where it won't flip the breaker for a long period of time, so you'll be like, oh, it's a djinn, but it's not, and it'll make it has you guessing a lot. But it's also a really easy ghost to figure out, right? Because it's going to be the only ghost that has 4 evidences on professional, amateur, like anything below professional. It's going to have 4 evidences. It's always going to have orbs, but the orbs are going to be fake. The orbs are not real. It's always going to have orbs, so that's a way to figure out if it's a mimic or not. If you find the other 3 evidences and you see orbs, then it's automatically a mimic. And in Nightmare, it will always have orbs. Nightmare will always have orbs, and in Insane and any kind of difficulty, it'll always have orbs. It'll always have Orbeez. So if you see orbs, it might be a mimic. And say you get 3 evidence on Nightmare, because you're only supposed to get 2, then it's automatically a mimic, because no other ghost can be no other ghost can give 3 evidence. It's just automatically a mimic, so it's easy to figure out. But I just think from how unique this ghost is, and the same goes for Insane, it's going to give you 2 evidence. It's going to give you orbs, and it's going to give you whatever evidence it chooses to give you on Insane. And Insane is supposed to give you 1 evidence. So with that said, I'm gonna say A tier, just because it's extremely easy to figure out, but it can be really fucking tricky. No, you know what? I'm gonna go S tier. I'm gonna go S tier with this mimic, just because I think it's so unique. And even though it's super easy to figure out, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you can't find them Orbeez. That's what made me change my decision, because sometimes the Orbeez are super hard to find, and you could think it's something else. Because Mimic and Onryo, I believe, share the same three evidence, or it's either mimic or Hantu. I think it's either mimic or Hantu, but another ghost shares the same three evidence as the mimic has, um, which is spirit box, freezing, and spirit box, freezing, and I think it's fingerprints. Spirit box, freezing, and fingerprints. But the only difference the mimic has is it has orbs, so it can throw you for a loop. That if you can't find those orbs, then it can throw you for a loop. So that's why I put it S tier, and I just think it's such a cool ghost, bro. You can get duked on by one, or it can be the complete opposite. It could be a shade. You could just go in there and it's not doing nothing, and then the next minute it's so cool, right? Because even like during a hunt, it'll like say you could walk in, it could be a day. It could be like, okay, yeah, you gonna walk in, have a good time, bro. We about to get this ghost, bro. This ghost about to eat my ass. You walk in with that spirit box, you like, hello, ghost. You can eat my ass. You dumb. You find a board. You ask how many pickles it likes in its ass, and then all of a sudden your sanity is down to 75% or so. Then it could be a Thay, and then all of a sudden it's running around super fast like a Thay, and you're like, what the fuck? It's a Thay, but it's not a Thay. It's a mimic. It can do the possibilities are endless with this ghost, and that's why I think it's an S tier. I love it. I love it so much. Love it. Those Orbeez are mimic these nuts. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dude, green, that fucking Evo, bro, makes me have a stroke almost every time. Abby, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Demon, another S tier. Another S tier ghost, I think. Is scary as fuck, especially for a new player, dude. You walk in the door, like I said before, it's just gonna instant hunt. Pole. Demon. Wait, I said Damon. S A B C D. And sometimes the demon can't, like I say can, right? Because it not always is it gonna hunt at 100% sanity, but a demon can hunt at whatever the fuck sanity it wants. It don't matter if you go in there feeling like the Lucky Charms, the damn Lucky Charms, man, on a cereal box. You can come in there happy as fuck, ride on a rainbow, bro. You know, riding on your hat or whatever the hell you doing, and then the demon's like, shut the fuck up, shut the door, just die. And that's happened to me before so many times. I would do one of the custom difficulty things where it was one I had set up where you can't sprint or anything. You just walk in the house and you're starting sanity at 0. But if you take 2 pills, you get 80% sanity. So for most ghosts, you're fine from, right? So I walked in and I got instantly hunted and I just died. But I knew instantly what ghost it was, because it's the only ghost that can do that. But I died. So, and I lost all my stuff. And so it can be so fucking dangerous. It can chain hunt and hunts more often than other ghosts. And like there's a 25-second cooldown between hunts, right? With any other ghost or most ghosts, there's a 25-second cooldown between hunts. Once it hunts, it can't hunt for 25 seconds. But with the demon, it hunts at 20 seconds. And with a demon's crucifix ranges is another thing about the demon. So that's another way you can figure out a demon. It'll hunt in 20 seconds instead of 25 after the cooldown. And with a smudge stick, if you smudge a demon, it'll be, instead of 90 seconds, it'll be 60 seconds before it hunts again. So it has a less time on that, so you get less time to do stuff whenever you do smudge it. So, and you don't know it's a demon yet, you smudge it, you think you got 90 seconds, you think you got a lot of time before it hunts again, but it hunts sooner. That's another easy way to figure out if it's a demon or not. Well, easy, you know, it just how aggressive it is. And S for spooky as fuck tier. Yes, sir. The demon is so fucking spooky. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, it'll hunt more often when you use a smudge stick and crucifixes. I haven't talked about a crucifix yet. This used to be on the Banshee. Way back in the day, it used to be on the Banshee, which didn't really make any sense. That the so now the demon has it, which I think is great. It fits the demon great. You put the so now you can see whenever you put the crucifix down, right? You can see the circle around the crucifix. You used to not be able to see that. But again, I'm glad they added that where you can actually see it now. Because I used to explain it to people all the time, and I'd be like, just imagine a circle around the crucifix. That's how it works. And I'm glad they added the circle now. But yeah, the circle around the crucifix gets so big. Like the crucifixes can stop a demon hunt from pretty much anywhere. Pretty much, let's say the demon's in the kitchen in Tanglewood, and you put the crucifix down in the living room, it's gonna stop a hunt from the kitchen. Or even if you put a crucifix down from in the like master bedroom area beside the living room, it's still gonna stop a hunt all the way in the kitchen. That's how big the range is with a demon. It's so big, and it's easy to counter a demon that way, but it's also gonna hunt more, so it's gonna use them quicker. And then once you're out of crucifixes, you're gonna be like, oh fuck. And yeah, so like you just gotta think fast with a demon. It's super scary. And yeah. And there used to be a bug where on Ridgeview, I think the map was the one where the truck is like really close to the house. If the demon used to be in the living room or the hallway, because the range was so big on a crucifix, right? It would use the crucifixes in the truck, which I thought was pretty funny. It would use, so that was another, but it doesn't do that anymore. So that was another easy way to figure out if it was a demon. It would use a crucifix in a truck because the range was so big. It would clip into the house. I just thought that was funny, but I just thought I'd throw that in there. Bro, I hate demons, dude. Yeah, they're so fun but crazy. I love them so much. Hello, fellow multicellular organisms. Just wanted to pop in and say hello. Fun or not so fun fact: we're closer to 2030 than 2015. That's gonna be a not so fun fact from me, from your boy. I have to go now, but have a nice day. Love you, Saturn. Thank you so much. I hope you have a good day too. I hope you're having a good day, good or bad. Love you, and I'm very proud of you. Thank you for that fun fact. I appreciate you. I had a bad experience with a demon on prison, and it was camping the entrance door. Yeah, dude, they ain't no joke. They ain't no fucking joke, bro. No joke at all. Dude, Roji, thank you for the 245 bits, man. Thank you. You ain't have to do that. Dude, my voice is going crazy right now. My throat's actually hurting a little bit, bro. I haven't talked this much about all these ghosts, or just this much I just sounded like Mike Tyson. I said this much, but just this much in general in a very long time. Like, well, straight at least. I haven't talked this much straight in a very long time. So I'm loving this. I'm loving explaining everything to you guys as much as I can, as much as I can remember at the time, you know. And I hope I did a very good job, because we only got one more ghost left, and that is the Moroi. Moroi is not really, it's not the best ghost to leave off on, if I'm being honest. I wish this ghost wasn't last. I wish the demon or something was last. That would have been really cool to leave off on. Wait, did I do a poll for demon? Did I do a poll for fucking demon? I don't think I did. Oh wait, I did, because I said Damon. Yeah, I did. Okay, I did. I did. I didn't even see what y'all voted. That's my bad. But Moroi. S A D, wait, B, hello, B C D. Moroi. Okay, this ghost can throw you for a loop. There's not too much to say. It's actually kind of a newer ghost, so I am going to use the cheat sheet and see if I know what it does, but like I don't know if there's any like hidden stuff that it does or anything like that. So before I look at the cheat sheet and stuff, how I like to figure out as a Moroi is the lesser your sanity is, the faster it gets. Once your sanity hits 0%, that is the fastest ghost in the game. Like, that shit literally sounds like he's moving so fast, bro. He's moving so fast whenever you hit 0% sanity. And you can kind of tell some Morois, because the lower your sanity gets, the faster it's gonna get, because the more insane you are, the faster it's gonna go. But if you're at 100% sanity, I think it's gonna be just default movement speed. Demon don't need no pole. True, true. I think it's just default movement speed if you're at 100% sanity, and it just gets faster and faster and faster as your sanity is drained. Let me see. Oh, I actually didn't know this. It gets like, because the smudge stick like flashbangs the ghost, right? It'll get stunned longer with a smudge stick if it's hunting you. I didn't know that. That's actually news. That's actually news to me. That's interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that I read that I didn't know about it. So we're gonna close out of that because we don't need that no more. But yeah, it gets progressively faster the lower your sanity gets, and it can get pretty scary sometimes. And another way to figure out a moroi is if you use a spirit box that has a unique, spirit box sound. It'll do a bunch of breathing. You're like, I'll actually show y'all that right now. Hang on. Let me damn it, I just closed out of that. There you go. Let's move this over here. I'll actually show y'all the moroi spirit box sound if y'all have never heard that. Moroi spirit box sound.
You can use a candle to know if the ghost is a moroi.
Okay. No. A candle? Wait, what? What you talking about? Is it this one?
Are you here?
No, that's not it. Okay, well, I guess there's no sound of it, but the sound will be like a really deep, like groaning, like, like breathing. It sounds like creepy, like a creeper is breathing over your ear with and he has asthma or something like that. And no other ghost does that. You'll definitely know if it's a moroi if you hear that. So with that said, a moroi can be dangerous the lower your sanity is, but if we're being honest, bro, if you're experienced at the game, you're gonna be in and out of there before your sanity even gets that low for it to be super dangerous. So I think I'm gonna go A tier with this one. So I think I'm gonna go A tier with the moroi, just because the spirit box response is super unique, and just because it can be dangerous if you are having a hard time finding the ghost and your sanity does get super low. It can be super dangerous and super fun to play against. And yeah, but that's my tier list right there, bro. That's my tier list of all the Phasmo ghosts. And good choice, dude. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, thank y'all for joining and listening to my ass talk about Phasmophobia, like one of my favorite games of all time. I absolutely love talking about this game. Thank y'all for doing that.